Hi, welcome to Riffs on Writing with Andi and Caroline, where we answer your writing and publishing questions in 10 minutes or less.
Today, we're talking about why reading is as important as writing for a writer's life. So, the first thing I would say is that reading is how you learn how to write. We all take classes, we all do all kinds of things, but especially if you've been a reader since you were younger, and you can still start now if you weren't, you will absorb the rules of writing, what makes writing good, just by reading books. Right, Caroline?
Absolutely. For example, when I write, apparently I've been told that I hate commas. While I'm still learning the rules of grammar, and those are things that a lot of writers, I think, sometimes struggle with. I pick up natural flow to sentences, ideas, transitions, scenes, how to write a scene, just by reading. And I think it's something that you wind up absorbing without even realizing that you're absorbing. Because we can all say, oh yeah, remember in that book, remember that ending, or remember that one scene where like this happened. And we sort of bring that into our own writing as we go on.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is as you start to write, it's starting to read with a little bit of critical awareness. So like if something you really like something, ask yourself the follow-up question, which is why do you like it? Like, is it because you like this kind of character? That's one thing, but it's also, is it that you like fast-paced books because you like to be moving forward quickly, or are you more of a literary reader and you like things to be meandering and musing and lyrical? All those things are great. It just that it does factor into how you write. So read with an eye towards those things.
Yeah, and read widely too. That's the other thing. We tend to pigeonhole our reading to what we are writing, but you can use different elements of different styles in your writing, which will only make it stronger. So that would be one thing. And the other thing, which I do personally, is so I don't like to write in my books, but I do love a good sticky note. And I have some really pretty ones, and each book gets its own pretty pattern sticky notes, and or those little sticky pads. And I write down, and I will, like, passages that speak to me, that mean something, or even that I just think are beautifully written. I'll mark them for myself. And if you look at my bookshelf, half my books have all these colorful little pieces of paper sticking out of them. And the other thing to do that I usually do after I finish reading a book is I will take some notes about it. I have a notebook where I will write notes about what I liked, what I didn't like. Sometimes it's very broad. It's just the story. If I'm researching for a book, it might just be more about the content of the book. But I do also pay attention, like what Andi was saying, what I liked or what I didn't like and why.
Yeah. And I write all over my books. This is why Caroline and I are a good pair because we're very different in some ways. And so I underline things that like lines that I like. That's how I realized I really like novels that have sort of these philosophical undertones, even in the fastest paced novel. Because what I always underline are these sort of like ideas. And then if there's something that I really want to remember, I'll star it. And then what I do is I write in the back cover of the book what my notes are, what I want to remember about it. So Caroline can never borrow my books. This is what we've learned, but just different styles. And then also in terms of reading widely, read classics.
Oh, yeah.
Read worldwide classics.
Yes.
Not just the Western canon classics. Read classics, but also read contemporary. So the classics are going to teach you the great rules of craft and style and things. The contemporary books are going to help you understand where your book fits in the world of literature right now. So reading widely, reading in multiple genres, reading everything you can is going to help you be a better writer.
Absolutely. And just a little point to add to that too, lately I've been reading a lot of books in translation as well. And there are definitely some publishers that are dedicated just to that, and I'm on their mailing list. And if a book looks interesting, I absolutely order it to look at. And I will say some of them are hard to read, but definitely worth it to see what writers in other languages are doing and what's happening around the world. And it'll just make your writing that much stronger.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just a quick book recommendation since we're talking reading. You can get the book by Annie Proulx called Reading Like a Writer.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a great resource. You'll either want sticky notes or a pen because there's going to be things you want to note. But it kind of trains you in how to switch from just being a passive reader to being an active reader who reads like a writer. It's a really great resource. We'll put the link to it in the show notes too.
Great. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We will definitely do our best to answer them. Don't forget to tell all your friends about us and subscribe and like our channel. Until next time.